Good evening. Good evening.
Good
Peace,
evening. My
glory,
goodness,
praise.
I'm so sorry. Obviously, I'm having issues.
Don't worry about it. It happens. How's all? Uh, Salutes to poets, writers, content creators. Salutes to the people. Um, Technical difficulties and all, we still find a way to make it work. I'm just grateful to be here. I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you. I'm glad I can be here too. How does it sound? This is my first time using this.
Uh,
Weird? Weird?
no, you sound fine.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing odd. Um, how's everything so far? How's your week been?
Ooh, it's been a long week. I've been preparing for this event that I have, this styling event that I have this weekend, which I'm very excited about, but also just a lot of work, it's a lot. Um, and I wasn't quite ready for kind of that piece that was written on me. Um, I felt like I didn't have everything in order the way that I wanted it to. So I'm just trying to be fully prepared for the next lady who's wanting to write something. So,
Gotcha.
how was your week?
I'm grateful to see another day. I'm grateful to be here with good folks. Good conversation. The weather is weird. One day is warm, the next day is as if it was still winter. So
Yeah, it is weird.
I'm cool with that. I'm content. I'm used to the weather flip flopping over me.
Much so like the people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Much so like the people.
Which is what actually brings us to tonight's conversation. 5 year relationship gone down the drain because this gentleman finds out that his girlfriend has been talked to not one, not two, but 22 different men the entire time they've been together.
Oh man, you're gonna activate me with this one.
Yeah.
You knew what you were doing, didn't you?
This Thursday evening, Friday right around the corner, guy. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I had to call it out. So here we are. I'm gonna
So
play
I
the
think, yeah, play the clip because I think I watched the wrong one today.
yeah. I gotta. That was an older clip that I did last week, and I didn't update it, so that's on me.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. What's your password?
What's your password?
Mine?
Yeah.
Mine's my mom's birthday. What's yours?
I'll open it.
Yeah.
You want the phone number? You said you needed the phone number. I'll give you the phone number.
Give me your password. Why is it so hard? What's the difference? You want to do this right now?
Do what?
You want to do this right now?
Do what?
You want to do this right now?
What are you doing?
You want to do this right now?
It's like I'm in a fucking movie.
Yeah, it's like a fucking movie. I know.
Crazy.
It is
Can you
crazy.
believe my things?
And she got a message saying, "What did it say? What did it say? What did it say? What did it say? I'll slut you out respectfully." And then I asked for her phone, and what you did? You acted all aggressive. Then let me see. So now I have your phone
Got my phone,
your purse.
my purse, all of my
and
stuff.
all your stuff, and you'd rather go through all this instead of just telling me
Telling you
what you did. Instead of just opening your phone, we laugh it out on who it is. Supposedly you don't know who it is.
I don't know who it is.
And you can open your phone in 10 seconds, call a number, find out, and move on. But instead you want to go through all this.
You're the one making it into this.
No, not me.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I told you I just wanted to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, and I told you just open your phone just so we can see.
Okay, let's go back. Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm telling telling you, I have nothing to hide.
Okay, cool. All right, you gonna open your phone? All right, what is it? What's your password? No, what is it? Nope, you're gonna give me your password. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. What's your password?
What's your password?
All right, that's pretty much the clip.
You start. I gotta collect myself, my thoughts.
This is where I always start with videos like this. Maybe it's just because of where I'm at with my age and how I view life. But for the life of me, I don't understand why would you waste 5 years of your life and the other person's life when you have no intentions on being in the relationship under the same pretenses as the other person. I think it's very selfish, very manipulative, initial takes, childish. Looks can be deceiving. It doesn't matter if you are 7'5". Doesn't matter if you're petite and you're at 125 pounds. You have the most golden hair. People who are selfish, they always end up in stories and situations like this. I've grown to learn that it doesn't really matter what a person looks like. If a man or a woman's heart is not in the right place, you are always going to be on the losing side of that relationship, friendship or not.
So, I mean, obviously, as we know, like, based on my demeanor right now, this one hits home for me. And I'm not going to try to negatively talk about that person, but it's something that nobody should have to experience because it's a very painful experience and it's very selfish. And to be honest with you, like, people like that just don't deserve to be with anybody. Because if you're gonna do that to someone that you say that you love, you don't even know what love is then, I guess, at that point, because you're just playing with everyone's heads, their minds, their hearts, their everything. And listen, one could sit here and say, oh, what was he doing, or what did he do to egg that on, or how did that come to be? And it's just like, I can sit here today and take accountability for why my relationship didn't work out, but I'm never going to take accountability for cheating. I will never do that. I will never take accountability for being the reason that someone decided to step out on what they were supposed to make a commitment to. I don't subscribe to that. I think that is just the most selfish thing that you can do. And at that point, why even be with somebody? Just to use them, just to manipulate them, just to be able to be comfortable? Like, for me, I'll never understand it. So I have a tough time with that one.
I'm always going to put and point blame equally in these type of situations because vetting and dating, those are extremely important tools that you're supposed to utilize when you are talking to someone and you're trying to see based off of the data that you get from them if this is going to be a permanent or temporary situation. And if you're more enthralled by the person's appearance and everything else that you're supposed to factor in takes a back seat, all you're really doing is delaying the inevitable results. Now, yeah, there are people that are extremely good at playing the chameleon, right? They can talk to you, look at you, gauge you, and they'll collect enough information to the point to where they can determine if you are a pushover or if you're someone that they can take advantage of. And they'll do it in such a subtle way that you won't realize that they're playing on your insecurities, your traumas, your lack of self-esteem. They know that you don't really have boundaries. Those are some of the worst type of folks, because you might not even realize what's happening. They know, and they'll go on with the charade. You left in the dark, and you really don't know how this person is going to react to it. Now, if you are someone who just throw caution to the wind and you don't give a damn about being cautious and really investing and really trying to figure out, do I really like this man or this woman? Should I really be ignoring these keywords that's coming out of their mouth? Should I be so focused on their body? Or should I just cut this loose now and walk away? Or do I just want to play along with it and prolong? That's when I'm like, yeah, you almost gotta blame them too. And I don't really have too much compassion for the other person either, because like
I stayed. I let it happen. And that's where I have to take the accountability. You can only let people do what you're willing to allow them to do to you. And like one time is a mistake, several times and several people, that's a pattern. That's a fundamental crack within a person. And hindsight's 2020. I mean, listen, I had a child with that man, and I thought that I was going to marry him because I really thought that there were other factors that affected his behavior, that altered his skewed perception of thinking. But it's just who he is. I think it's just who he is. And unfortunately, the girl that he's with now is going to have to find that out the hard way herself, because she thinks she'll be the thing that changes him. And good luck with that.
Having 22 other men on your roster is diabolical work. How do you do that and not have no type of remorse for it at all? You laying
Because
up
you have a spirit that lives inside you that clearly doesn't have a moral compass. That's something I'll never understand. Never understand. Because even if I would like have a gentleman tell me that I looked pretty when I'd be out with my girlfriends, or like talk to me or flirt with me, like I would feel guilty. I would feel guilty about it. Like, ooh, and I wasn't even married. I was just in a long-term relationship with the father of my child. So I don't understand that. But, to each their own, right?
You just don't. I mean, you don't have. If you don't have respect for your partner, then yeah, that's very possible. There's too many people out here that's in situations where one person cares more about the other person, and vice versa. And I think that's what happened here. I think he was more into her than she was into him, because nobody does that to somebody they care about, period.
I mean, it's going to circle back to the same thing that I say every week. It starts within. That person has something really effed up inside of them that they need fixed. They need to go get help. Because that's a fundamental issue. If you can't be faithful and loyal to somebody who chooses you regardless, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, lack of perfection. Nobody's perfect, but I struggle. I struggle with that. But at the same time, like you said, you don't feel bad for people that have it done to them because the writing is on the wall. And unfortunately, for someone like me, I had to learn the hard way. And it was ugly and it didn't feel good. But God showed me what I kind of maybe knew all along and just so badly wanted to not accept it. So I think that we see what we want to see when we're in these situations. And like I said, we allow people, we give people permission to treat us a certain way if we just continue to allow it over and over again. We're basically giving them the blueprint for what's acceptable.
Which is a sign of lack of love for yourself. It has to be. Because nobody that is walking or operating fully in God's protection and his teachings wouldn't allow anybody to do that to them. Like I don't give a damn if you are a 9 or 10 on the Richter scale of looks. If your spirit is trash, your personality is trash, I don't really want to entertain you. I don't want to be associates with you. I don't want that nowhere near me, period. All you're going to do is drag me down, delay everything that I got going on. I could be close to making this amount of money, or I could be close to making deals here and there, but I'm more or less divided with my attention trying to placate to your feelings and your emotions, but you're coming from a Delilah place. You're a Jezebel in the form of a dainty, well aesthetically appealing woman that is essentially here to derail any progress that I may have had off of me being lustful and chasing after features that does not necessarily mean that it's going to get me to the finish line. So we need to talk about why men and women would rather ignore the red flags to deal with somebody that they feel as if is irreplaceable. Why would you subjugate yourself to that? I'm not mad at him.
Because you want to believe that I mean, naturally, I think some of us, maybe not all of us, but naturally when you love somebody, you want to believe that that's not truly who they are. They just made a mistake, or maybe it was just a lapse in judgment, or maybe, just it had to do with this happening or that happening. And you make these excuses because you so badly love them. You love them more than you love yourself. And I speak from experience when I say that, because I do believe that I allowed it because I didn't love myself the way that I was supposed to. Because if I loved myself, I would have never let that happen in my life. And this gentleman, I don't know how many times like it happened to him, but I think unfortunately your heart plays tricks on you. Your mind plays tricks on you, really, because your heart, I think, often knows and it feels it, but you want something so badly, especially when you have children with somebody. For me at least, that you just make excuses for behavior. It doesn't, you justify it and you try so badly to make it make sense. But it does stem from a lack of loving yourself. And I've definitely learned that in my life throughout this process, because oftentimes, honestly, at many points in time, I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, what is wrong with me that I would allow this? Like, I know that like I'm a catch. I know that I deserve better. I know that like all these things, but when you're in it, it's hard to rationalize what the reality of the situation is until you have to actually face it. But it comes from a place of really not maybe dealing with the trauma that one has. Because I think that there's a lot of trauma that often is buried underneath all of the things that you allow people to treat you like, and you just want to be loved in whatever capacity that looks like. So you'll take the breadcrumbs and and you'll call it lunch.
Mm. Yeah. As somebody who's been there before, I know that is a fact. And it's not a good feeling being second fiddle to people, investing and pouring into these folks, hoping and changing them is going to get them to look at you in the same way that you look. It don't work that way. Everything needs unison. Without it, you're screwed.
I think that also stems from being unequally yoked, though. And like that's something that my mom always said to me growing up, and it like always rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, then not this again. Like, but now being in a different space in my life, it makes a lot more sense. And me like building that relationship with the Lord again, with myself personally. I don't want to be in the next relationship that I'm in. I don't want to be with somebody who doesn't like really have the same foundations as me, and that being God first.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
So like when a man and a woman are supposed to be together, like they're both supposed to have the belief in the relationship of God being the laid foundation. And that's something that like, yeah, I understood that growing up, but like you don't really truly understand until you let what you know to be true in your heart and in your mind and what your desire perhaps is to lead a godly life or to lead your family in that direction. And you instead are the one that ends up getting like allowing somebody to alter what you know to be true for yourself and influence, perhaps leading you away from your faith. And I think that my mom's ideology with that was, well, if you're a man of God and a woman of God and you come together as one, you're supposed to be equally yoked. And that's in putting God as the foundation of what your marriage is.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely, 1000%. That's like you being a Christian and the other person being a Buddhist. It's not going to work.
I mean, listen, this is a tough one for me because I'm not the shining example. I didn't do it. I didn't do it right. I did myself a disservice because I loved somebody and allowed a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have allowed. And was I perfect in that relationship? Absolutely not. I had anger issues. I was not nice. I said some horrible things and I justified it because of the things that he did. Not that it's justifiable, but you know, when you get to a place like that, you're not starting from a healthy foundation. So it all starts at the foundation. Just once again, it starts within you. And if you're not right within yourself, how are you supposed to love somebody else? And I knew that I wasn't right within myself. I had carried around wounds and trauma my whole life, being one of 11 children. And I lived a very different life than one may think. And a lot of things stuck with me. And I didn't love myself. And I didn't feel like I was ever good enough. And then I kind of allowed that in my relationship with a man who I almost in a way idolized and allowed to be my God instead of God. And not even like I did it on purpose, like, oh, I worshiped the ground he walked on, but I was willing to sacrifice putting God first and knowing that maybe he was showing me all along that there were signs that this isn't for you, honey. Like, I'm trying to steer you away. And it took me getting to a really not great place for me to see that, unfortunately. And sometimes when you love somebody, even if you love them, they're just maybe not good for you.
What does it do to your psyche, your personality, when you know that you're giving away your energy, your time, your essence to a person that you know that you're pouring into way more than you're supposed to? What does that do to a person's spirit?
Not good things. It didn't do good things to me. It made me not love myself even more. It made me wonder why I wasn't good enough. It made me want to drink away the pain. It made me want to numb myself in a way that was just like, well, why? Because you go through it in your mind constantly. Why am I not good enough? Why am I not good enough? Why am I not good enough? And it's like, you can't do that to yourself, because the reality of it is, it's not that you're not good enough. It's that you're just allowing something that you know you shouldn't be allowing. And you have to love yourself. Like, I struggled with being alone. I still struggle with being alone sometimes, to be honest with you, because I've grown up in a household my whole life with siblings around me. I always had a roommate. I always, had my son or my younger siblings. So I think sometimes it's difficult when you are running like the track star. That I said we are just the other night, because I feel like we're always running until we stop and we look at ourselves and look deep inside at the ugly things and ugly parts that we allow. We're just going to keep running. And I don't want to run anymore.
If y'all want to be out here sleeping around with multiple people, do you? I have no problem with that's your
Space
life.
Cowboys asking what we're talking about. Well, we're talking about cheating, essentially.
So, a woman got caught having multiple partners in her phone. She's been talking to a total of 22 different men. He caught her, confronted her, but her nonchalant attitude towards it was the scariest part to me, because you've been with this man for 5 years and you don't seem to have the type of urgency that he does. It's like, oh well, I was going to deny it until I couldn't anymore, and here we are. I don't know. I don't even know what tipped him off, but clearly he paid attention to you enough to where it was like, all right, I've been with her. I've been with her for 5 years. I know how she eat, drink, sleep. I know the tone of her voice when it's lying. I know when she's happy. I know he know her. She started switching up at some point. Maybe it took him time to build up to confront her. Maybe this was the straw that broke the camel's back. But he confronted her, and she was just.
Then it makes you wonder. It does make you wonder, and I do wonder this sometimes. Are you a sociopath? If you have no feeling at all about how, and it's not that everybody doesn't have a feeling. Like, they have remorse and they say they're sorry and whatever, yada yada, but like, then you do it again. So like, are you a sociopath? I don't know. I wonder sometimes if that is what actually, because I wonder about the actual definition of a sociopath. And is that what it is? Somebody who doesn't show any form of emotion, remorse, or how it affects other human beings, right?
We actually did a live stream on this last year. It's a little bit of that, but it's a little deeper, and it's actually dangerous too.
Like
It, it,
demonic.
it's borderline demonic. Um, I might have to go back in and watch that one. That was a hell of a good show. Uh, Sociopaths are not people that you want to get entangled with at all, because their lack of remorse or consideration for human life is scary. Like the way that would, like the definition itself, the way that it was broken down to me. Shout out to Jason on that one. Uh, it's frightening. It's extremely frightening. I don't know if that was the case with her. She seemed like she just loves attention. Uh, she doesn't know how to have the type of conversations that are necessary to cultivate a healthy relationship at all. It just seemed like there was so much immaturity within their house. It was obvious that she was going to reach out and go other places. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying you can't have spiritually unaligned, intellectually unaligned people trying to survey this earth in the same. No, it's not happening, because they want to go this way, you want to go that way. You can't do that. Why do you need 22 different people sexting you? Why do you need 22 different men talking to you and sending you pictures and doing this and like what drove that? And was
I would
you
like to know. I would like to know what the other relationships look like in her life. You know, like because they're so good at. They'll give you the shirt off their back 1 minute to every other stranger. You know what I mean? So like I would love to be a fly on the wall for what her relationships are like outside of that relationship. You know what I mean? And what their perception of her is. That would be interesting.
so many different personalities? Are you the
Well, then it all.
same? Like, are you
Yeah.
like, are you the
Yeah.
same? Are you the same version that you are with him? Nah, you can't be. Nah. And
But I mean, those same thing could be said about me, though. I mean, he used to say that to me all the time. You're not the same person. You don't talk to. You talk to this person this way and this person this way, and it's like, well, I'm also someone who gives. I reciprocate energy. If you're going to treat me well, I'll treat you well. If you're not going to treat me well, you can't expect me to sit here and still treat you well. Like it gets to a certain point where I know I'm supposed to turn the other cheek and still treat you well, but it's not really Murphy's law. You know, what goes up must come down. That's kind of the way that it works. We're humans, we're not robots. But I would be very interested to see a person's take on her from an outside perspective, or if that's just something that I personally experienced, because I mean, he's great. He's great to other people. And he was great to me at times, at a lot of times. And that's probably what kept me around. But I think, I think we also hold on to that in life. I think we hold on to the potential, and we hold on to the dream that we want in our mind. And I can't speak for that gentleman, that poor gentleman who played it really cool, because I would have broken the phone and not been that cool. But I don't know. Her response is just like, but maybe it's because she was being filmed also. Like, do you think it was just like more of an act?
these days, you don't know if these streams you don't know if they skits or if they real or not at this point, because everybody just want to be seen on social media. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I mean, it very well could have been just a skit. Get your visibility up. get people talking. Folks love drama.
Which is even more like sad in my opinion, because at that event, it's like there's people who have really lived through this traumatic heartbreak, myself being one of them. And like, I don't wish that upon anybody. I don't wish that upon anybody. But at the same time, it's kind of my fault. I let it happen. And I kept going back for more. And I kept touching the stove. And I kept making excuses. So this is a tough one, man. This is a tough one because I go back and forth in my mind like, oh, F all the cheaters. F them. They don't deserve love. They don't deserve anything good. But then at the same time, F us too because we let it happen.
Space Cowboy, you more than welcome to share your thoughts. I wanted to add this. When I was in my early teens and I was out here running the street because I was wild, you know, I had different women that I was dealing with, and it was, in retrospect, it was because I was seeking variety. I was seeking variety. It didn't have really anything to do with personality per se. It was just variety. You know, I'm young. I ain't nowhere near at an age for marriage, nothing like that. We just having fun. You know, I was irresponsible, but it was just, oh, you telling me I can sleep with this person? You telling me I can have this person Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Oh, okay. And I think, you know, that mindset stays with certain people, not everyone. I think it stays with a lot of people.
Yeah, because I was the same way. I mean, I had my fair share of things that I did that were promiscuous, and it's because just wanted to feel something. I didn't. My first experience with a partner was very abnormal, so, and I won't go into that, but I didn't view it the same way in sanctity as maybe I should have. So I feel you, but now at this age, like I don't want that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in having that soul tie with somebody. I don't want your demons or your spirits or your any. I had enough of that in my life. I don't want any of that. The next, like, I'm just not interested in it. I wanna love myself. And I'm learning to love myself, and it's taking me time, and I'm getting to a place where I like the person that looks back at me in the mirror.
So do you think that what she's doing is her not satisfied with herself? And so, because like I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of someone that I could relate to.
I think that that's insecure, and that's insecurity that drives that. You need to have, like, there's a void within you that needs to be filled. And I don't know. It's not the popular opinion, but like that's a void that really truly only God can fill, I feel like, in a way. And I don't know. We just live in such a skewed perception of life these days. And it's like, and I'm not sitting here saying like I was perfect and I had it all figured out and I know everything. I don't know everything. I've lived through plenty of things that I've made tons of mistakes. I was that boy. I I have been there. But at some point, do you open your eyes and you grow? Or do you just stay stagnant and stay in the same place? Because if you're never willing to look deeper inside yourself, these people will be doing these things until they're almost in the grave. Like, at what point will it change is really my thing, I guess, in my brain. Because for me, I needed it to hurt so bad that I would never, like, I'll never look at him the same. Not after this time. You need to learn lessons in life.
You can't be with a fickle person. So let me set this.
Go ahead.
Let me set the scenario. You meet this man, butterflies. Everything seemed to be like fireworks. There's no issues. The first month it's everything. You get to the 6th month. Now that's where it starts to get more serious. Because guess what? Now you get the peel layers back. You get to see them in their habitat, how they move while they're usually on the other end of the phone. You're actually with them, the routine and things of that nature. Now you start to get bored, or you start to get the feelings of not this again, or you start seeing things that annoy you or whatever. I don't believe a lot of women and men, but women specifically, not all, but let me put the disclaimer out there. I'm not talking about the minority, I'm talking about the majority. You might have a good thing, but at some point you get bored, and then the next thing you know, you're starting to seek validation and attention elsewhere. Why? Now,
I am the wrong person to ask.
I never get it, and it's like you would think that I'm just saying it just to be saying it, but as much as I do reactions to these videos,
I think people want to have their cake and eat it too. I think that's just the reality of it. They want to be able to have that stability of someone loving them and seeing the good in them and seeing the flaws in them and accepting it and being willing to look past it and give them the comfortability that they want in a warm body laying next to them at night. But then they also want to be able to do whatever they want to do, having no care for what that does long term for anybody. And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. And I never will. And maybe that's the hardest thing about it all, to be honest with you, for me, is like, did you ever love me? Like,
people really don't know what love look like or what it's supposed to reflect. My grandparents, that was a whole entirely different generation. Yeah, they got on each other's nerve. Yeah, they argued and fought. But they understood that there was something more important than just, oh, I'm not happy, I gotta leave.
people also don't want to fight. They don't want to fight. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to have to go through the uncomfortable things that force them to just have to be uncomfortable and just simply not. They don't want to do it. They just don't want to. And why would I have to change the things about myself that you're mirroring to me and you're telling me that needs to change in this relationship if I can go walk down the street and do whatever I want with that next person? And they're not going to hold my feet to the fire. They're not going to hold me accountable. Marriage is not viewed the same as it once was. In my heart, I was married in my mind. Maybe not before God, but in my mind, I was when I had that child with that man. So like I viewed it old school in a lot of ways, But even still, that was skewed, very much so, because he didn't deserve the things that I was giving as a woman in terms of what a wife should or shouldn't be doing. But again, that's on me. I allowed it, and I gave it, and I did it. So now I have to face the repercussions of doing that. And I think oftentimes, whether you're on the receiving end or the person doing it, you don't want to have to face the reality of the aftermath.
Yeah.
It forces you to have to get uncomfortable and talk about things and look at yourself. That's
It's
never
like,
comfortable.
it's like, all right, y'all can have fun at the beginning. Y'all be goofy. Y'all laugh at each other's jokes, and you know shit don't be funny. You sit up here and put on your best persona form and all that. Why, like, all right, don't even do it. In a perfect world, everybody would say, look, man, I ain't looking for nothing serious. I'm damaged. I'm only good for bedtime fun. Nothing.
Be real, most people won't even admit that they're damaged. They won't even acknowledge that fact. Like, let's be honest. It takes a real self-aware person to say, I have deep trauma that has affected me so deeply that I don't even know if I know how to love you properly. I don't even know if I love myself properly. Like, let's be honest. Like, how many people do you personally know that have sat there and said that to you? Because I don't know many.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. But I've come across a lot of folks that are they're double-minded. So they'll be honest about some of their stuff, but they don't work on it.
Right. And that's what I was just going to say. Talking out of both sides of their mouth. It's one thing to say that you have trauma. We all have trauma. It's another thing for you to say you have trauma, know that you're incapable of reflecting that in a capacity to love somebody, to mirror the same love that you desire and want. And then for you to actually work on that trauma so that you're not then perpetuating the trauma and the aftermath of what comes with that.
Yeah.
And I choose at this time in my life, I'm the only one in my family that goes to therapy. I go to therapy because I need it. I need it. I don't have the tools to fix the things that were broken inside of me in the way that perhaps I thought I did. So I need someone to help me put more tools in my toolbox, because until that gets fixed inside of me, I'm never going to be able to love myself the way I want to and love somebody else. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
This woman sat here in this man's face for 5 years, entertain other people, and then have the decency to tell him directly, I don't care about the indirect stuff. No, you're not telling me directly this is how I feel. Which means that you don't have enough respect for me to even give me the option to stay here or leave and try to figure
I'd
this
like
out.
to address something. Chewbacca, you must have came late to the party, honey. And let me take my glasses off for this one. I took accountability from Jump Street in this conversation. I allowed it. I did things in this relationship that also allowed it. So thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose when you read those, and I dip in and out of the comment section. It derailed the whole focus of the whatever. But to smile in that man's face like that and just be so cool and casual about it, you you don't really understand how bad you are going to hurt the other person until you find out that they might not respond how you expect them to. I could never just take advantage of somebody just because I know they got weaknesses that I can prey on. I could never do that. Even if I had plenty, like I've been that asshole before, and I paid for it. Karma kicked my ass for years straight, back to back. So I would never go down that road ever again. But some people, they just don't never grow up out of it. I done had people do stuff to me, but then, you know, we split, we never speak. They come back around after a while and they act like nothing ever happened. And I'm supposed to just forget that that was what it was. I'm a forgiving person. I don't forget. And I will definitely not move the same way that I used to move. That's what I'm talking about with that double-minded. You don't really do the work. She didn't even give a damn. She was just like, you know what? Hey, we here. So
Listen, you already know my situation. I don't need to go put it on blast. So I'm there with you. I get it because my brain still won't understand it. It still won't understand it. And you want to know what? It's not for me to understand. But what is for me to understand is working on myself. And I'm going to keep working on myself and I'm going to keep being the best mother and the best sister and the best friend that I am capable of being in this life because I can only control what I can control, and that's myself. And I allowed people for far too long to affect me so deeply that I couldn't control myself anymore, or even how I felt about myself. Now that's the kicker.
I'm glad bro confronted her. I'm glad he called her out. I'm glad he didn't marry her. That would have been awful. But what we got to start doing is learning how to get back to the bare basics so you don't end up in situations like this. It's worse now though because everybody has access to everybody on the internet. So if you want attention from a man or a woman, all you got to do is get on Twitter or whatever app that
Yeah,
and
right.
post a nude, post something, and you good.
You know, it's so funny. I had this conversation with somebody the other day about having like doing a photo shoot and my styling for my business. And so I was like, listen, sir, you're not gonna think that my style is exactly what other girls' styles are, because it's just not. And it was just so funny that you said that because truthfully, like you can just go get attention anywhere you want. You can use people in any capacity that you want. Like you can. It's very easy to do if you just allow yourself to do it.
I agree. I had to highlight this. I just popped back over here in the comment section. People don't really want God for real. So that's
Listen,
why
my relationship, well, the way he was just speaking to me and about me is not very godly. So I'm just going to respectfully decline that one too. But yes, I go to church and I fellowship with God and I read my Bible. So don't you worry about my relationship with the Lord. You clock yours. But yes, you need to be working on yourself with the Lord. And that's where it all starts.
yeah, y'all put it this way. If you decide that you want to live in this world based on your own rules and your own laws, nobody's stopping anybody. I don't judge nobody for it. You got to do what's best for you and you got to figure out what's right for you. I have a certain order that I want to follow. because it works for me. If you are outside of that order, we don't blend. If you live and move like him or her, because both of them have issues. Her issue is that she's very fickle. She's not satisfied with one person, and she doesn't know how to be satisfied with one person. His issue is he doesn't know how to pick his partner, and he's too worried about being alone. Because if he really loved himself and knew who he was, he would have never been with her for 5+ years. If she was really honest with herself, she would have never entertained him that long.
You can ask yourself this: how long did it take for you to get to that place? You know, we all live and we learn. So it's like, if you're doing that by the time you're 60, yeah, okay, like then you really are just showing your true colors in life. But like, if you truly like think that you love somebody and you just are blinded, you're just blinded, and you're not in tune with God, you're not in tune with the Holy Spirit, you're not in tune with that relationship that you're supposed to have with the Lord. You know what I mean? Like, how for me it took a lot of change in my life to happen in order for me to really see the writing on the wall.
Now, everybody don't get there right there. It took me 20+ years. 20+ years. And my family went to church. So even with having a church home, you can still be disobedient and rebellious.
100%. Some of the naughtiest children are pastors and preachers' children. Let's be real. It's not exclusive, or sin has no bounds. And that's the truth. Like, it's not exclusive to any one person. We're all sinners.
Exactly. I said this in a video earlier. I could listen to somebody who did cocaine and speed, and they were alcoholics and homeless, and they robbed people. I could listen to somebody who did all of that and turned their life around, versus someone who is a OF model or a rapper. They preach and say God's name and they do this and that, but their work don't speak for them. The anointing ain't on them at all. Because you'll have one person, when they talk to you, you can tell that they've made the adjustments. They really went through the fire to get to where they are, versus someone who is just pandering to an audience just so that they can get your time and attention and retention.
I agree. But that also has to do with being in tune with yourself and being in tune with the Holy Spirit to be able to identify that in people, because honestly, people's radars are really broken, myself included, at many times in my life. But that's because I wasn't really listening to God, and I didn't really want to hear what his direction was. I wanted to do what I wanted to do because that's what I wanted in my heart. And sometimes that's unfortunately what takes over. You don't always listen to what the plan is because you want it to be something else so badly.
Yeah. A lot of relationships are going to continue to dwindle and fail. And it doesn't have anything to do with nobody but you yourself, because you are the problem. You are the reason why you can't stay in a healthy marriage. You are the reason why the communication is trash. You are the reason why you don't know how to pick better. You don't know the difference between someone who is righteous and who is unholy. You don't know how to discern. You don't pray. You don't have a faith structure. You don't have no boundaries. You want to live in the world. Go ahead. Congratulations. Do your thing. Nobody's going to get in your way of it. But when you do have friends and family and folks that don't really care about the public opinion and they're telling you the opposite of what you're used to hearing, don't get mad at them. They're the ones that's actually trying to love you the right way. Something is extremely unhealthy about needing to be seen by the entire world when you got somebody in your corner that's actually there with you for the right reasons. How did you go outside of that to jeopardize that for people who are only there for your body or for whatever they can obtain up off of you for a temporary season?
I don't have the answer for that, but I know that that's not me, and I don't subscribe to that, and it's unfortunate that that's the choices that people make. I will never do that to somebody, ever. I'd rather be alone than hurt somebody the way that I've been hurt. So, which I am alone, working on myself.
You can see how destructive it is, though, and how ignorant it is. Because you see it on social media all day, every day. It's the same thing over and over: cheating, 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 divorce, divorce, divorce. Some like at some point, y'all don't figure it out. Y'all don't know what the common denominator is.
That we need God in our relationships everywhere. That we need something greater than us to guide us in this life, because clearly temptation and lust and all of the things are very profound, to the tune of berating somebody on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not enough maturity out here these days. And that's why we don't really grow or progress at all. And it's sad, but it's them very same people that are probably hurting the most and going through the most.
I will pray for them.
That's all you can do. Any thoughts, any final thoughts on this topic itself, the man and the woman that they came to this nasty conclusion? Anything?
I hope that man, I hope that he finds the love that he deserves, because he deserves love. He deserves someone to choose him. He deserves to have the same love that he's given. And her, I will pray for her.
Yeah, ma'am, you by the time you really decide that you want to take someone serious, your spirit is going to be so distorted. I don't even think you're going to be able to recognize yourself anymore. And I know that sounds cliche, but if you knew what I knew and you've seen what I've seen, I know someone, I won't say no names. I knew them since they were a child. This young lady was going to church. She was in the choir. She sung. She had the spirit on her and everything. She was the last person that you would think would be where she is right now. It's frightening, the transformation.
Where is she? Not in a good place?
Not in a good place at all. Not in a good place at all. And I look at her and it break my heart, man, because I just never I knew it was possible. I didn't think it was going to be that bad though. But see, she comes from a generation of parents that never broke the cycle. So they passed it on to her, and now she's suffering because of their stuff. And it's like a lot of us.
The devil will get you any way he can. He will get you any way he can. And unfortunately, that's often through extracurriculars.
Yeah. But look, I want to say thank you for pulling up tonight.
You're so welcome.
Shout outs to you. Shout outs to everybody who tapped in this evening. I don't feed the trolls, so I've been doing this shit long enough to know how to maneuver with this.
I've been trolled my whole life by everyone around me. It's okay. I'm used to it, but I'm not gonna ignore it the whole time. I'll let the disrespect happen, just like I said before, until it's, oh, I don't feel bad for what you're doing.
I got you. It's all love, man.
Listen, I'm good either way. I'll be good either way.
Right on. But we about to get up out of here, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Y'all have a blessed
Y'all have a good night.
You know, drive safe, happy Friday, and all that good stuff. We have an open mic tomorrow. If y'all free, pull up. It's gonna be a goodie. I ain't did one of those in a couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to it.
I gotta come to one of those. I gotta just sit in and listen because I do like poetry.
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe for sure.
I do like poetry.
But yeah, we up out of here, man. Do me a solid if y'all don't mind before you go.
Push the goddamn button.
Peace.